Welcome back to another edition of the AI Rabbit Holes video series. Now, this time I'm excited to welcome Grace Lung. Now, if you haven't heard of Grace Lung, I'd recommend checking out her YouTube channel. I'll leave it in the description below. She has a very impressive YouTube channel covering AI and marketing topics. She's just over 30,000 subscribers now. So, Grace, thank you so much for joining this episode.
Thank you, Ryan. It's great to reconnect. And yeah, thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about AI's impact on SEO today. Actually, your
Mm,
recent video was about this topic, so it's really good timing
mm.
here. And obviously, AI is impacting SEO quite a bit. The whole SEO is dead argument, we see that pop up every other day now, it seems. So, just from a high level, Grace, I guess, how do you think AI is impacting SEO? Like, what are the most important things people need to know?
Mm. Yeah, I think so first of all, clicks is declining, traffic's declining, that's for sure, because people are moving away from traditional search engines, although it's not an overnight change, but however, we see that the click-through rate is declining. So that's, I would say that's the biggest impact that I can see right now. So I think for brand, we need to prepare for that. We cannot just track the traffic. We also need like track the metrics beyond the traffic, like your brand influence on across other platforms and your brand authority, trust signals. Yeah.
They're moving towards a zero click experience for sure. And this is nothing new. They've been doing this ever since with AI overviews, and it was called SGE, right? Search Generative Experience was the first name of that. So they're moving towards this stuff slowly but surely. And in my opinion, Grace, I think AI overviews and AI in general really exposed vanity metrics in SEO. I mean, how many SEO people and agencies would talk about, look at all this traffic we got, right? But did it convert to dollars? That was the big question that a lot of people couldn't answer. And I think AI is actually exposing that.
Yeah, so you can see that like Google right now is accelerating the AI overviews. A lot of queries already trigger the AI overviews. So I think the question is we need to understand the real business impact, like from search, right? Because in the old days when we do SEO, it's more about traffic, ranking. And some of the brands I've talked with, they're also so obsessed about like how the keywords are ranking, if we're still in the top 10. But however, the real impact is if they're converting, if they're bringing sales to you, to your brand. So I think this is the mindset that every brand should have as they're migrating in the age of AI. And we need a whole different strategies about
Yeah,
that.
I completely agree with you. So I guess let's talk about ranking factors a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. What are the most important ranking factors you think in the age of AI that SEO should focus on?
I think is brand authority and trust signals, right? It's no longer about what you say about your brand, but also what others people are saying about your brand. So for example, reviews, comments, because AI will scrape a lot of these kind of data to understand what people think about your brand. So
Yeah,
should they recommend your brand? So I think brands need to focus more on those aspects, like how you get more brand mentions, and also not just about the search engines, but beyond your website. So are you having consistent branding across different channels? So for example, if I am a digital marketing agency, so I'm not just saying I am a digital marketing agency, but however, I also need to be consistent on other channel, right? Not about, oh, you're a digital marketing agency and then on YouTube channel, you say another thing, right? So that will confuse AI agents, AI search engines. Yeah. Sorry, not AI agents, AI search engines. So you need to have more like how you make it consistent across different channels. Yeah.
completely agree. Brand equity is a huge thing, right? And obviously digital PR and building backlinks, that's a big part of it, getting featured in the media and how credible those media sources are. But also what I've realized lately, especially with my clients, Grace, is that Google is factoring in terms of brand equity, how often your brand is being searched in a query, whether that's, your actual branded query, if it's just, digital marketing agency and that's the name, or long tail queries, best digital marketing agency in
Mm,
XYZ city. So they are keeping
yes.
track, regardless of long tail or short branded queries, of how often you're being searched in Google. That's becoming a bigger ranking factor, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I would say the real battlefield is no longer on the top of funnel. It's more on the mid to bottom funnel, right? So for example, X versus Y, like Ahrefs versus SEMrush, like the best alternatives for X solution. So that kind of decision enabling content will be a big piece for brands to compete with how my brand can get mentioned for those recommendations from the AI search engine. So I would say the mid bottom funnel is the focus, but not the top of funnel, right? Unless you want to rank like what is SEO, right? Unless
Well,
you
an
want,
AI overview is going to eat that up anyways.
yeah, so unless you have really unique insights you want to cover that aren't being covered already on other AI search results, like why would you want to focus on the information queries? And also, those queries are very competitive, and most of the big brands, established brand with high authority score, they already eat up that spot. So to get a chance, I would suggest like focus on more mid funnel content and bottom funnel content search queries. Yeah.
That's what I always tell people is that the days of writing content for informational queries just to get that traffic, those days are over. I mean,
Oh,
you can look at HubSpot, right? With their recent traffic decline, was it the past few weeks or something that made news everywhere? That kind of shine light on that a little bit, right? They were mostly top of funnel queries, top of funnel search intent pages, and the traffic decline. Now, is HubSpot hurting from that? Probably not, right? They're a huge company. They do really well in monetization, have a good product.
mm.
But for the average blogger, average creator, that's a huge deal, especially when people are still relying on ad revenue in 2025. You're definitely going to have to shake up your business model because top of funnel informational queries are dead, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. And those blog, like just optimized for those information queries, will just die even faster because of AI, right? Because people they don't rely on blog for those informational type of content. They can access information everywhere that they want from social media, from YouTube, from podcasts, and a lot of areas they don't rely on just AI overviews. And those keywords are not bringing real values to brand compared to mid funnel queries. Yeah.
Back to that vanity metrics conversation where I think AI is actually exposing vanity metrics because it doesn't actually bring real value. It just looks cool when you have a chart that says traffic and it goes up to the right.
Yeah. So what I think is traffic is I always think if traffic is a vanity matrix is I would say it depends on the context. If we think about traffic to your money pages, definitely we need to track that. So are you bringing traffic? Are you bringing people to your product demo sign up page, member sign up page, product page, pricing page? So these are still the core metrics we want to track. We need to zoom out a bit, not just about the traffic, because traffic alone without context is useless. We need to also layer that context to understand if we are creating a real impact. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
That's a good distinction you made there. I appreciate that. So let's talk about other alternatives to Google now. There are a lot, but they don't have a lot of market share yet. Obviously, ChatGPT, Perplexity is gaining a lot of steam now, even DeepSeek, right?
Mm,
All of these big LLMs coming out. Do you
mm.
see these taking a significant portion of Google's market share as time goes on?
Yes, I would say Google is going to have a big trouble. Yeah, although right now Google is still dominating the search market, but however, you can see that Google has been very hurry to accelerating all those AI, bring AI powered search features to the search engines search result page. So I would say as time goes on, as people moving away and establish this habit, then the market share of Google will declining. Yeah, although currently it still have a major dominance right
I think
now,
they're
but
about 90% market share. I think I saw that somewhere.
I think recent study is like been below 90%
Is it
from
now?
Google. Yeah, for the first time in the past decade. So yeah, so I would say like for brands, we need to think beyond just Google. Perhaps Bing, and I would see Bing has a huge potential because a lot of search index search query from ChatGPT also reference Bing, but of course not just Bing, but other like partnership on publication. But however, we need to not only have the mindset like optimize for Google, but also have the AI first mindset, like how we can get more mentions and also building a strong foundation of SEO. Because optimizing Google is similar. Optimizing for Bing is similar to optimizing with Google,
Yeah,
in my
absolutely.
opinion. Yeah, and actually for Bing, from my experience, is a bit easier to rank high. Yeah, because the competition is less compared to Google. Google have a huge database. So if you need to stand out, you need to apply different tactics. But compared to Bing, it's less competitive. So I would say this is the one of the best time you can start thinking about Bing, right? In the early days, right? Because if AI search engines is eating up the market share, then that time may be more difficult.
It's good you brought up Bing because that's also what ChatGPT is using right now with its search functionality to scrape a lot of that and populating its results. I would assume most of it's coming from Bing with their Microsoft partnership.
Yes, and from what I see observe is if you use perhaps like ChatGPT, you can try to use the same query and then put into Bing, and you can find that for most of the search results mentioned in ChatGPT actually ranked like top 10 in Bing, right?
Yeah.
Most of them is the same. So I would suspect like most of the search queries are coming from Bing. You can try it yourself because currently the difficulty is both Bing Webmaster or Google Search Console, they do not have this kind of transparency.
Yeah, of course not.
Yes,
Yeah.
you don't know like which results or which queries have the AI overviews or being seen on the Copilot there's no such reporting. You need to try it yourself. But yeah, but from what I see, like yeah, on ChatGPT is mostly referenced from Bing, and Google AI overviews is referenced from Google search results.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually been using Perplexity a lot more. I don't know what your take is on Perplexity right now, but in my opinion, they are adding so many new updates lately with deep
Yeah.
research, right? Making that affordable. It's free
Yes.
users, but for $20 a month, you get I think unlimited queries with deep research. They added DeepSeek's R1, OpenAI's O3. I mean, Perplexity is really coming a long way, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start to gain some more traction.
Yes, and I would say Perplexity is so aggressive in gaining a spot into the go-to AI search engines for people. Yeah, they keep adding new features and competing with OpenAI. You can see, right? OpenAI have deep research, and then Google deep research, and then now Perplexity deep research. And so I would say what Perplexity does well is it spend a lot of efforts in scraping a diverse source, not only like including YouTube and also
That's
Reddit.
true.
Yeah, and yeah, because so I would say Perplexity, you still need to do what you're already doing for your traditional SEO. Is
Brand
comes back
equity
to
is
those.
huge. Yeah.
Yes, and getting seen on YouTube maybe. Yeah, because for Perplexity, sometimes if it match the queries, it will just automatically pull out your YouTube video results.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to shift this a little bit now to local SEO. And in my opinion, Grace, local SEO, when it comes to AI's impact, is actually a lot different than national SEO, which is kind of what we've been talking about so far. I
Mm.
think from a local perspective, I don't see AI having a huge shift as it does compared to national. I think if you're still doing the foundations of local SEO, optimizing
Mm-hmm.
your Google business profile for target
Mm.
keywords, target locations, building out local citations on all the different directories, and all the other strategies that go into local SEO. What is your take on local when it comes to AI?
I would say is definitely focus on reviews. Yeah, I would say that's a big piece, right? Because how AI search engines doing so good is it can analyze a lot of unstructured content like customer sentiment. So I would say reviews will be a big part. Of course, this is also from what we're doing in the past. We need to focus on reviews, but I would say the difference is how you can get customers saying something that is really about your branding, not just some generic reviews, but however, what's so specific, like entities or certain keywords. So you can give more context to the AI's training to understand, oh, this brand is associated within this topic.
Yeah,
So
that's a
I would
really
say
good
that
point.
that is a big piece. Not just because in the past is good rating, good reviews, but however what you want the customer to say about your brand. So for example, oh, Ryan is an expert AI expert or for marketers or so this is the context that you're giving the AI to understand, oh, Ryan is associated with AI. Ryan is associated with marketing. And but this is not you saying about yourself. It's your customers, your audience say about yourself. So I would say this is also a big piece for local SEO.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing that's really important for local
Mm,
SEO too, I was actually talking to a client yesterday about this, the importance of having pictures in the reviews because Google is smart enough now to track if that picture
mm,
was actually
mm,
taken at the location where they said it was. Because let's be honest, Grace, most
mm.
reviews are fake. They're spun up by AI, they're outsourced to all these other people. You know where I'm going with this? It's going to be harder and harder to have legitimate reviews. And if you have
Mm.
pictures of the actual product or service, I think that's the bee's knees of local SEO is getting the pictures and the reviews.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because AI can also understand the pictures now, right? Is something that's unique or yeah, so I think that's a good point.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to shift gears a little bit here again, and we're going to talk about the jobs portion. So, for people who
Mm.
maybe work in SEO or content, what are your thoughts on just how AI is impacting their roles, right? So, in my opinion, I think it's going to move people into more strategic oversight and think more like
Mm.
business people and just overall marketing people versus the day to
Mm.
day robot work that a lot of SEOs have been accustomed to titles, meta descriptions, internal, external links, images, right? All the ins and outs of crafting content. I think there's going to be a more holistic oversight involved. What do you think about that?
Yes, I am totally with you. Yeah, I think yeah, the AI, like how we can automate for AI will the coming role is more strategic. We need to think more about so just like take an example for SEO. So in the old days, just focus on ranking, traffic. But however, now with AI, because AI can automate a lot of time-consuming tasks, some basic data analysis. So I would say the role is becoming more strategic for SEO or content marketers. Yeah, they need to think from the branding perspective. If this is really creating real business impact
Yeah.
and
For
not just
the
the ranking. Yeah.
with the rise of AI agents and everything going on too, I guess what skills are needed by marketers or content or SEO people to survive in this age anymore?
Um, so the skills, right? Yeah, I think the skills is you need to be have a creative thinking and analytical skills. So this is a big piece because some people may argue, oh, AI can create stuff, right? But however, I think AI still relies on human inputs, still relies on human context, so that it can find the linkage that you might have missed. So I would say creative thinking is a big piece for marketers to thrive in the AI age. And then the AI skills, how you can leverage AI, how to prompt AI to output what you want, work with AI. So AI fluency or AI literacy, I think this is also a big piece of skills that marketers should have, right? In the past, maybe it's just about knowing how to use SEO tools, but however, in coming, how you work with AI models. So it's not just about AI replacing you as a marketer, but you working together with AI and supervise AI. So you are being more strategic, just like what we just discussed. And then finally, a big piece is human psychology. I think this is also a key skills for marketers because if we want to do good marketing, we need to understand what is the human desire motivations. So I think human psychology is a big piece because machines AI they don't really understand um, the motivations of human, even though they try to think like human. But yeah, a lot of context still need to given by human. So I think that is also something AI can't really do well in the
I
future.
I completely agree. It's really crazy to look back. I've been in SEO since 2018. I remember the days, Grace, where I'd go through blog post by blog post and you'd use Yoast SEO. And remember, if the
Mm-hmm.
lights were all green, that means it was good to go, right? Because it was optimized
Yeah.
for that keyword. Oh, that's an old SEO joke, right? Only the real ones understand the Yoast SEO green light joke. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about that, where we'd have to go through blog post by blog post, page by page,
Mm.
optimize every single sentence, add pictures, add links featured images, categories. There was so much manual work that would go into this stuff. So I guess let me ask you this, Grace. This transitions into my next question.
Mm-hmm.
What are some entry level marketing tasks, I guess, do you think that AI is most likely to automate first?
Definitely content generation.
It's
Yeah.
already doing that. Yeah,
Yes, already doing that. And also some simple, maybe email like ideation or sequence generation. Those really time consuming tasks, or maybe simple data analysis or comparative analysis, right? So we have a certain data and then how we can get the insights faster, just summarizing. But however, um, more strategically, I think AI still can do well, but for the basic comparative analysis, data analysis, so that would be the piece that AI we're gonna automate a lot, yeah, and also like content ideation generation. That's already
for
being
sure.
done
And then
by.
you got agents in the mix who are doing all this stuff autonomously. That's a whole other conversation. But I want to ask you this question now, Grace. So let's say
Hmm.
someone came up to you or commented on one of your YouTube videos and said, "Hey, Grace, I'm pursuing a marketing degree or I'm looking to pursue a career in
Hmm.
SEO or content." What would you
Hmm.
tell someone like that?
What do you mean? Like is
Like, what would your advice be if someone asked you, Grace, "Hey, I'm looking to pursue a career in marketing or SEO." What advice
mm,
would you give them?
Mm. So I would say besides those skills we just mentioned, I think a big piece is learn think fast, the learning skills. So having resilient and also having a creative problem solving skills. Are you able to think creatively to solve a problems and learn think fast because things changes super fast. So I think learnings is also a core skills for marketers. They need to like having a cross domain knowledge, right? If a marketer asked me today, I wouldn't just recommend, oh, just study marketing fundamentals. But however, the future is for T-shaped marketer. And what I call T-shaped is you need to have the expertise in your own domain, but however, in the horizontal, you have different knowledge. So you need to also know about UX. You also need about like pay marketing. You also need to know about social media. I think the cross domain knowledge will give you a huge advantage in the AI age because then you will know how to solve a problem from multiple perspective. So I would recommend like if someone asks me like also develop that cross domain knowledge, but also deep in your own lane and same time knowing how to learn faster
Yeah,
using AI.
that was very well said from what you were talking about there. I was actually just talking to someone about asking if they should get a marketing degree in college, and that's what I did. I graduated with a 4-year degree in marketing, and I
Mm,
and I look back now and I'm like, "Oh my god, AI has really exposed higher education in my opinion, especially from the marketing side, not to mention all the other topics that it's exposed. But when you look at higher ed and just marketing from a holistic viewpoint, AI has really exposed all of it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it shifts all the jobs and where the job market's going to go and the economy. These are just some really big conversations that obviously we can't solve these problems. Just a lot to think about.
yes, and I would say like the future education is no more assignments, right? Or maybe it's evolving into different forms, right? Solving real world problems is not just about a simple assignments and then like thesis reports that you can generate using AI, but solving real problems to think more critically and how to using AI. So I would say in the future of for education, school will need to incorporate more AI skills, right? And then train the student to think using AI, how AI can handle this task for me, and as a complement to do this task together, right? It's not replace.
Yeah, I think AI has really increased the need for critical thinking. I mean, when I was in school, I look at it, it was all about recall. Hey, what was the fact of it was all about facts, right? Memorize this
Mm,
fact, memorize this in the
yes,
back of the book, solve this math problem, remember this formula. Well, now if there's a really complex, quadratic formula math problem or any algebra math problem, what do you do now, Grace? You take a picture, upload it to OpenAI o1 or o3, and it can solve that math problem or Grok 3. It can solve that math problem in like
yes.
15 seconds. So what's the whole point of learning all this stuff in school for 4, 5, 6, 7 years when it's all focused on recall? We need to focus on critical thinking. AI is really pushing people to do that.
Yes, and I would say what I would add is also personalized that learning, right? Because different student, even though they are perhaps we're all both studying MBA or marketing degree, perhaps each person have different background, right? Different skill sets. So I would say AI can also help that to provide more personalized learning. How it can recommend you to learn faster or learning in a more efficient way. So is a true game changer, like how AI can transform learning.
For sure. Well, we'll end it there. And Grace, I want to thank you again for your time. I hope those watching or listening really gain some value from both mine and Grace's perspective on how AI is impacting SEO. We kind of went off a
Mhm.
tangent there for higher ed, the job market, and all sorts of things. But this is AI rabbit holes. That's what this is all about. So, Grace, thank you so much for joining once again. I'll be sure to leave your channel in the video description below. I highly recommend you guys watching check out her channel. She has some really good tutorials and videos on AI. Grace, thank you again for hopping on this video.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Ryan.